Now that I have my paper template cut, I am ready to start weaving my strips of paper. And the way that I'm going to do it is I'm going to cover up any spot that I see an X. So if there is a white spot, I'm going to leave that showing. And then with my strip of paper, I'm going to cover up any of those little boxes that have an X in them. It's a little bit different from our usual like over, under, over, under. The pattern is going to be different. Once I've got one of my pieces of paper woven, I'm going to pull that paper all the way down so that it fits inside of this box. So there's kind of like a box there that you can tell where each paper should go. And when you have it pushed all the way down to fit inside of that box, we're just gonna put a little piece of glue to hold that piece of paper in the right spot. So I'm gonna flip it over because that's the side where I've got a flap that I can glue down. And I'm just gonna put like a little dot of glue on the very edge. I'm not pushing my glue stick flat onto the paper. I'm kind of angling it so that I just get a little bit on that one spot. And then I can put it down. Oops. If it gets pulled up, you can just kind of fix it. And then a little dot of glue. And then I'm ready for the next one. So I've woven a few more lines and I just wanted to show you a couple of things. One is that before you glue down your piece of paper, you just want to double check the front and make sure that it's pulled down tight so that there's not a gap in between your two pieces of paper. Another thing I wanted to show you is that sometimes you won't be gluing your paper down on the front. Sometimes the flap is going to be on the back. And it's just the same process, right? You lift it up, you put a little dot of glue, push it down. You're only gonna get like 4 or 5 pieces of paper at a time. These pieces of paper are really difficult to cut. So we don't want them to get wasted or lost or crumpled. So once you're done with like 4 or 5 pieces of paper, then you can go back and get a few more. Another trick I wanted to show you was it helps to kind of pick up your loom while you're weaving, and it helps to do your weaving at the top or in the middle kind of. So what I'm gonna do is I'm moving my hands up here because I have more space, but my eyes are looking at this row right here, and that's how I'm deciding what to do. So I'm moving my hands up at the top. That way I can have more space to pull stuff in and out and it doesn't mess up the pieces I've already done. But the whole time my eyes are focused on this row that I'm working on right here. All right. And then I would do the same thing that I've been doing. I'm gonna pull that all the way down, flip it over, double check the front, make sure it's pulled all the way down on the front, and then wherever those flaps are, I would just glue those flaps down before I go and get my next few pieces of paper to continue weaving. All right, I have finished doing all of my weaving on the paper template. I want to show you a couple of things on the back. So I started at the bottom and I was able to keep it inside those squares for a while, and then it started to get off a little bit, right? Like my strip wasn't lining up with the actual square. I just wanted to let you know that is okay. It doesn't have to line up all the way across, okay? It'll eventually, you just keep going, doing the best you can, and it'll eventually like work itself out and you'll get back on track. The other thing I wanted to point out is that sometimes it can be hard to weave that very last square. Like I wasn't really able to fit a piece of paper through there, so I just decided to stop and not worry about that very last row, okay? Now that I'm done, I have a beautiful design on the front. I'm ready to do the very last step to just kind of finish it off. So I've been gluing down the edges as I went. So all of these are glued down. They're staying nice and flat. Now, all I have to do is turn it over to the back, and I'm just kind of lining up my scissors with the edge of my loom, and I'm cutting off all those extra little parts that were hanging off the side. I'm just gonna do that on both sides. You wanna take your time on this step so that you make sure and not cut accidentally into your loom. And then you can turn it over and you have a beautiful woven paper design. I hope you had fun, and if you would like to, you can create your own design for your next one.